If you, like me, are super excited about the FAssets system and just want to know everything about it, then watch on because I'm going to reveal the latest developments, but also you'll hear from two of Flare's fantastic team members. Now, Flare has been ramping up for the release of the FAsset protocol, which is currently under development by Flare Labs and aimed to be released as part of Flare's 2024 Ship Everything goal. Now, for those unfamiliar with FAssets, in basic terms, it is a collateral-based protocol designed to trustlessly bridge non-smart contract assets like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin onto Songbird and Flare. So with that in mind, let's take a peek at what's going on behind the scenes to bring this vision of FAssets to life. Now, first off, the backbone of any successful protocol lies in its documentation. So the docs team has been working closely with the technical team to develop a comprehensive guide for agents to ensure that every step of the process, such as onboarding and managing their positions, is clear and accessible. Meanwhile, the tech team continues bolstering the FAsset smart contracts, tackling any challenges that emerge along the way, and preparing the contracts for deployment on Flare's test networks. But let's hear directly from Kristaps, who is Flare's developer relations lead.
Already we have started fixing some issues and problems and improvements in version 1.1. We will deploy once again on custom, then following custom 2, then on Songbird. And on Songbird, there will be real deal. We'll test with real assets and with real participants. And after, if everything is fine, then we will deploy on Flare mainnet.
So as Kristaps just mentioned, the next phases include inviting the first community members for testing. And private beta testing has already commenced, with the initial testing agents being FlareSpace, AF Labs, and Oracle Daemon, who are all experienced and long-term partners within the Flare ecosystem. They've also been operating FTSO data providers since the early days of the Songbird network. The gates will then open to the wider infrastructure provider community to join as agents to bolster the technical aspects of testing and also help the onboarding experience for future agents. This will be carried out on the Coston and then the Coston 2 networks, first to provide an environment for thorough testing. Incentives for these private beta testers are also currently being discussed to help support the costs of participation. This system depends on the agents to facilitate the minting of FAssets. So some exciting news on this front has come out, which is that currently 3 unnamed agents have been selected to provide their service when FAssets makes its way to Songbird and Flare. It marks a significant milestone in the protocol's journey, with each new agent bringing a brand new dimension of diversity and decentralization, which is something Dan Rocky, one of Flare's community members, has recently highlighted.
Decentralization is key to gain that required confidence in the FAssets system, which is required for its success. FAssets system is decentralized in all components. The fact that the users are independent on the agents and don't have to worry about whether they can be trusted is powerful, as the protocol will also ensure redemption for the users whenever they want.
Efforts are also being made to further increase the transparency of the protocol by open sourcing the underlying code. And while a large portion of the FAsset smart contract code is publicly available on GitHub, it is expected that there will be more made public at some point in the future. Now, I want you to hear from Angie, who is Flare's product design lead. She has been carefully planning the design of the FAsset UI to ensure that it is understandable by even non-native Flare users who may be new to using a Flare product.
The Flare community is a big deal for us. We have a really amazing, engaged, supportive community. And so looking at their expectations and hopes around what would be and what they would need in the product was priority number 1. Shortly after that, we're looking at expanding beyond the existing Flare community. So what would people want to know who are Web3 native, who aren't familiar with Flare or FAssets? So making sure that we had materials for them to understand what it is, why they would use it, and how it works. And then we also had a lot of deeper discussions with the documentation team at Flare, refining what information belongs on FAssets itself, versus what kind of deeper dive questions belong in the supporting documentation. So we're looking at what we kind of landed at is the things that are on FAssets are things that a first-time user is going to want to see. And then when you go through the minting and impulse flows themselves, what are the things that you want to see each time you complete a transaction? So we're thinking about transparency. When you complete a mint flow, we show 8 different statuses as your funds are being transferred. So we're super transparent, and it's also really clear where, what things are happening and what's going on. Also, the collateral pools is a little less technical to use than minting. So collateral pools are a nice way for someone who might be a little bit newer to participate and earn rewards. And then once they get more comfortable, then they can move into minting whenever they're ready.
So while current FAsset testing is focused predominantly on aspects such as running the supporting FAsset infrastructure, the interface which supports minting FAssets, liquidity pool participation, and agent management tools has already taken big strides, having already been mostly developed and awaiting integration with smart contracts. So we can see FAssets is well on its way, and we can expect to see more developments in the coming months. So to close, I'll let Kristaps explain how you can get involved with FAssets.
How you can get involved? That has been a most asked question. We are looking for partners, especially those who are providing infrastructure currently in Flare ecosystem. You can reach us out on Discord, but before that, please read the concept page on our developer documentation, where we have written all about FAssets. Thank you.